were annulled by then military head of state Ibrahim Babangida. Years later, on the 6th of June 2018, former President Muhammadu Buhari posthumously awarded the national honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, GCFR, an honor awarded to only Nigerian heads of state. The former president also declared June 12 as Nigeria's Democracy Day, as opposed to May 29th, in commemoration of Nigeria's return to democratic governance in 1999, after 13 years of military rule, in honor of late MKO Abiola, the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. 32 years after, we speak with the wife of late Chief Moshood Abiola, Dr. Bosede Gloria Abiola, and the impact of the annulled election on her family and other matters. Dr. Abiola joins me from our Abuja studios. Good evening to you, Dr. Abiola. Welcome to Politics Tonight.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Once again, thank you very much for joining us for this very important conversation. And this is because celebrating June 12 in honor of Moshood Kashimawo Ali Abiola remains a powerful moment in Nigeria's democratic history. As of 2025, this day continues to serve as a symbol of democracy, resistance, and the power of the people's vote. So first, how did MKO Abiola's decision to run for the presidency affect your family life at the time? How did his ambition to become president affect your daily family life, especially in the early 90s? What was MKO like as a husband and father during the June 12 election campaign?
I thank you for giving me this platform, and I thank the TVC Communications. My late husband, Chief MKO Abiola, was a visionary philanthropist, a patriot who believed in a united, prosperous Nigeria. He dedicated his life to uplifting people with his businesses, charity, and political efforts as a family. We cherish his legacy with hope, unity, and sacrifice for democracy. It's been a challenging journey with the loss of our patriot and the main provider of our family. A lot of those people and children, his own children and adopted children and people all over the world that he cared for, that were cared for by the late chief, became very destituted. And I'm going to use the word destitute because things became extremely hard when he passed away. Those of us who depended entirely on MKO had to start all over from scratch. Many of us had very young children and ended up with nowhere to live. And life as we knew it was terribly disrupted. Many of the children became child laborers in different countries. I want to take time to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to let the Nigerian people know that it was a very, very difficult time for us. And there was a lot of financial instability and insecurity. And we were left without the means to pay for simple medical services. It is by God's grace and many prayers that many of us were able to maintain some level of sanity to be here today. I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to take this off my mind, because I want to let you know that some of us are in our 70s. Some of MKO Abiola's household members, wives, widows, are very old and in penury.
All right.
As we celebrate June 12, it is extremely important for us to let you know precisely what is going on with us.
And we're also very honored to have you on the program. But how did you and the family cope with the challenges that came after the annulment of the election?
Well, after the annulment of the election, things went completely out of hand. A lot of us who didn't live in Nigeria who only came to participate in the election sort of went back to our children. A lot of things went wrong. And I won't lie to you, a lot of us couldn't cope at all. But our hope and our joy is that we were very sure that this is the right thing that our late father did to bring democracy into our nation. And our appeal to the ruling government right now is to please look back, is to assist. My major reason for coming on the air today is to appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to please carry the Abiola family along. When he won the election, we were extremely happy, full of joy. Seemed like light finally came back. It's been 2 years now. We have been waiting to be acknowledged. We actually feel very abandoned, very disrespected, and we are appealing for whatever reason why the June 12 family abandoned MKO Abiola's household. It is time for you to forgive and bring the family together. We are very happy. I'm very happy that the likes of that some northern elders have found it very important to call for restitution, to call for compensation and justice for the Abiola family. So I'm completely on the same page with them. Yes, so for us that is actually my main reason.
All right, ma'am. So for us not to get lost in the course of this conversation, when you say justice for the Abiola family, what exactly do you mean? And when you say you want the president to step in what aspect do you want the president to step in this time?
Yeah. For the past 14 years, Abiola's estate issue has been in the Ministry of Justice. At a point, some Yoruba elders, for example, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, took it upon himself to appeal to former President Muhammadu Buhari on our behalf because the poverty was unspeakable. So President Buhari mandated his Attorney General to bring all the factions together, form a strong committee, locate all MKO's assets all over the world, all his instruments, all his wealth, whatever is wherever, all his landed property, and try to sort it out with his family so that the rightful heirs will get what truly belongs to them. I want to thank former President Buhari for this action and the fact that he found it important to listen to all the petitions that the likes of me wrote to him. I also want to thank former Attorney General Malami Abubakar, who constituted the committee and wrote 15 different letters to Kola Abiola, mandating him to come and sit down as supposedly an administrator of his late father's estate. But to everyone's disappointment, for 14 years, Kola never came to sit with us. We cannot keep celebrating June 12 and laughing and acting like everything is all right. Everything is not all right. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu finishes his tenure and does not look into our plight, we will not have the right to face any other government, any other future Nigerian government to assist us. This is the rightest time to do this. We have a June 12 Attorney General. We have a June 12 President. The heir is June 12. It is mandatory that we let the world know that things has not been right for the Abiola family. A lot of the women are in penury. A lot of the family members have died of very diseases that can be cured by, I mean, some people, I understand, died of poverty, hunger. But we have been hiding, shielding, pretending everything is okay.
All right. All right then. Because what you've just told us now is that a lot of the women are living in penury. Abiola's estate has been under
penury.
Yes, has been under the supervision of the Ministry of Justice. Clearly because there is so much tension and division within the family. But what have you done in your own little way to, bring the family members together and bring peace to the family? All right. All right, then. I'll allow you to answer that question. Can you hold on, Dr. Abiola? I'll allow you to answer that question after this break. Please stay with us, everyone. The family members together.
In my little way, and I wouldn't call it little, I will say of all the very many wives and widows of late MKO Abiola, I have been very selfless in my fight for justice for all the 77 children of late MKO Abiola and his household. I wrote several petitions from President Olusegun Obasanjo up to the present President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to whom I wrote a very huge page, let me say, at least 500 pages of all the documents, all the happenings in all courts that I have been to try and repatriate late MKO Abiola's assets. I submitted it to the presidency. Now, whether he got it, I do not know. But my first petition was way back when former President Olusegun Obasanjo was in power. And that prompted him to go to London and meet with the supposed administrators of late MKO Abiola. In that meeting, he lost his temper, called them thieves, and walked out on them. After that, I wrote another petition to President Yaradua and President Goodluck Jonathan. And that prompted the Nigerian government writing letters rogatory to different countries and jurisdictions where late MKO had his assets. And the Nigerian government stepped in. But I want to let you know that we are dealing with a very powerful, strong, rich opponent in the name of Kola Abiola, right, who vowed that nothing will be given to anyone up till today. It's more than 20 years. Nothing has been given to any of the children. So, besides that, all the petitions, I went to several elders, and on several occasions, we were summoned in the Ministry of Justice by different administrations, but especially by former President Buhari's Attorney General, who formed a very strong committee with senior advocates involved. But still, Kola was able to raise a big entourage of people who squashed it.
All right.
So it's been more than 20 years. These children were prevented from living in their own houses, going to school with the money their daddy left for them. We were thrown on the street by Kola Abiola. He took all the houses.
All right, so I didn't want us to discuss, kindly hold on, Dr. Abiola, I didn't want us to discuss personalities, but since you have constantly mentioned Mr. Kola Abiola's name, what excuse has he given for this behavior towards your grievances or request?
I come again,
what excuse has he given for this behavior towards your grievances or your request?
What have I given?
What excuse has he given to you or to other family members?
What excuse?
Yes.
Oh, the excuse he gave us and he gave to the Attorney General is that his father and his mother made this money and everything was left for him and his maternal siblings. I am telling you, what I'm telling you is verifiable. We have a huge file of almost 3,000 documents in Ministry of Justice, Department of Citizens' Rights. I have been there for 14 years. I have used over 30 lawyers in Nigeria. The Nigerian government is aware of that. At a point, money was given to try and bring back Abiola's assets from Switzerland. Kola blocked it. We have letters. We are here to appeal. I am not here to sing lullaby. I'm here to appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever we have done wrong, whatever Abiola's family has done wrong, he has to forgive it. He has to carry us along. We need his help.
All right, then.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I heard you. All right.
We need his help because we believe that if the likes of late Chukwuemeka or Dumegu Ojukwu, if the likes of him and his family, please let me finish. If the likes of him and his family can be forgiven and their face become the face of Nigeria in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, why is it taking this long for them to forgive Abiola and his children and to carry us along?
Gloria Abiola. We've been speaking with Dr. Bosede Gloria Abiola, late Abiola's wife, on MKO Abiola and June 12 mandates, and from the family's perspective. Thank you so much for speaking with us, ma'am. Thank you so much. Please have a great evening. All right. We'll take a break, and Politics Tonight will be right back. Please stay with us, everyone. Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you very much for staying with us on the program. We'll continue our June 12 conversation and the significance of this day in Nigeria's democratic journey. And joining me for the second part of this conversation is Nelson Ekujimi, human rights activist, convener, Comrade Society Music. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Mr. Ekujimi.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Congratulations to Nigerians in advance of 26 years of unbroken.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a very popular question. What is the significance of the June 12 struggle?
Okay, the significance of June 12 is that the day signified that destiny day when Nigerians spoke with one voice across ethnic and religious divide. And it also signifies the resistance of Nigerians against the military despotism and their insistence on democratic rule. So it's a unique day in the life of Nigerians because it was a day that God had ordained. Because if you look at the history of June 12 in the political and economic life of Nigerians, it was one special day that, unlike other previous June 12 and after, it never rained in any part of Nigeria on that day when we went to the polls. It was an election that Nigerians made up their minds across, all divides, all the primordial sentiments, to speak with one voice that they wanted to entrust their destiny in the hands of one man to lead them because of his program of farewell to poverty. So it's a day of celebration for Nigerians that on that day, Nigerians spoke with one voice to say no to military despotism, yes to democratic rule. And since June 12, 1993, if you look at the return of civilian rule in 1999, it has been 26 unbroken years, which cannot be taken away from the efforts from the systems of Nigerians in standing by that mandate that bet civilian rule in 1999, and that message is not lost on us, and that is why we are here in 26 years of broken rule and democratic rule.
Right. So, do you think MKO's sacrifices and ideals still resonate in Nigeria's political landscape?
Oh, absolutely. Because this was the candidate, the president. Chief Abiola not only sacrificed his life, we must not also forget that his wife, his beloved wife, late Alhaja Kudirat Abiola, was murdered while pursuing the actualization of this people's mandate. The mandate did not belong to Chief Abiola, it belonged to Nigerians, because Nigerians were the ones that went to the poll. He was just a custodian, and many Nigerians lost their lives. You want to talk about a Bagadakato, a journalist, until today we can't find where his body is buried. He has become, missing since 1993. You talk about Chief Alfred Iwani, who was murdered in his bedroom. You talk about Alex Ibu, assassination attempt on Alex Ibu. You talk about assassination attempt on Chief Ibrahim Adesanya. You also know of persons like the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was among those who were wounded into exile. So we lost men and materials. It is unquantifiable. So the contribution of Chief Abiola is firmly edged in history. And that is why, even with the annulment and the repeated moves by the succeeding government after the annulment, that's the Junta, the Shonekon interim national government, which was declared illegal, null, and of no effect by late Justice Dolapo Akinsoye of the Lagos High Court on November 10, 1993. That was the window under which former military dictator Sani Abacha, toppled that interim illegal contraption. And after the death of late Sani Abacha, General Abdul Salam Abubakar came into the saddle in 1998. He handed over in 1999, 29th of May. And if you look at the role played by Chief Abiola, if Chief Abiola had not insisted, even at great cost to his life, people around him, and the sacrifices made by Nigerians, I don't know whether we will be talking about democratic rule today. I don't know. Because I'm not, but I know that sacrifice by him was, was monumental.
But looking back now, Mr. Kujime, what part of MKO's personality or leadership style do you think Nigeria still needs today?
Oh, the leadership style that late Chief Abiola embodied. He was a sportsman. He was a sports lover. He was a humanist. He was a philanthropist. He was a businessman. He was a musician. So Chief Abiola was a unifier. This was a man who touched lives across every part of the country. The religion of Chief Abiola is humanity. He didn't know whether you were a Christian or a Muslim or a pagan. He saw everybody as a member of the human family. So it is his generosity, his ability, to recall figures, facts and figures, his clear-headedness about issues, and his clear-headedness about providing tangible, realistic solutions. Those are the things that endeared him to Nigerians. Don't forget, I should also remind us that a lot of persons who were on the sidelines because of the marathonic moves of former military dictator Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who didn't want to come out on June 12, 1993 to vote, were only convinced by the debate on NTA between Chief Abiola of the SDP, late Chief Abiola of the SDP, and later Alhaji Bashir Tofa of the NRC, where they were asked the cost of fuel. And Chief Abiola said, I cannot give a figure until I have the facts. When I get into office, I will interrogate the issues. But this is the cost that they are selling it now. But his opponent on the other side, when he was asked the cost of fuel, he didn't even know how much fuel was sold at the pumps. So people said this is a man that has mixed with the people, that knows where the two pieces. And that was why a lot of Nigerians who didn't want to come to the poll on that, took that to the polls. And that was why we had about 14 million, people casting their votes across both divides. So Chief Abiola was a man who intermingled with the high, the low, and the mighty. He was a people's man.
All right. You know, another very concerning issue is that, you know, young people today did not experience June 12 firsthand. Do you think younger generations truly understand the importance of June 12 and what it cost the country to get here? What message or legacy do you believe Chief Abiola would want young Nigerians to carry forward?
The message we want young Nigerians to, because this question you have asked is a very, very critical question to the Nigerians. We have seen a lot of youth speaking out of ignorance, some have even saying, oh, things were better of doing it. And I tell them, I wish you were here. One told me that he was still a baby, he was still, sucking the mother's breast. I said, I was a living witness. I was a practitioner. I was on the field. Under military rule, people would disappear without trace. Under military rule, media houses were closed down and journalists wounded. You were arrested for even making your opinion. Under military rule, you had no voice. But today, under a democratic system, you can decide at every periodic election time where to cast your vote. So our destiny politically is entrusted in our palms every 4 years. So the young ones need to go and read history, to go and read that there was a time in our life whereby even I cannot come to TV for you to speak to me immediately. I finish this interview. I don't know what will happen next. But today you come on here, you say whatever you like. You go to the social media, you run people down, you run down institutions because you don't know our history. You don't know the sacrifices millions of Nigerians have made. We should also remind them that when the election was annulled, and Chief Abiola was insisting on the mandate, under former President Babangida with the then Minister for Information, they gave this false news that Chief Abiola was bringing worship from US to come and declare war on Nigerians. You remember the number of Nigerians of the Southeast extraction that traveled home and lost their lives on the road. We can't count the numbers. People of Yoruba extraction, Igbo extraction, Hausa extraction, who lost their livelihood. And today they cannot be. We have people who have been amputated because of whose limbs have been amputated because of June 12. We have those who have died. We have those who Chief Abiola, apart from losing his life, all his businesses were crumbled by the military junta of Ibrahim Babangida and Sani Abacha. So the younger generation needs to be patient, to go and read into it, to go and read history, and recognize that the only means to good governance, which is the end of democracy, because democracy is just a vehicle. It's not a final destination. Democracy is a vehicle, to good governance. So
all right, then.
The only vehicle to good governance that we can, key on to as citizens, that we must continuously keep faith with, is democracy. Because it's a democratic system. We can
absolutely, Mr. Kujimi. And remembering the critical issues central to this struggle: free and fair elections, ethnic and religious unity, human rights and civil liberties, national unity and diversity, economic and social justice. Beyond democracy, MKO Abiola's campaign also emphasized poverty alleviation, economic justice and social welfare, the right of the people to choose their leaders, the ultimate price of freedom, and the power of sacrifice. Would you say that the critical issues central to the June 12 struggle have been fully achieved?
No, the central focus of the June 12 struggle, all have not been fully achieved. But those tenets are very, very present with us. So we can say those things we fought for. Some are here, some we are still struggling with them. And like we all know, life is about ups and downs. No human being is perfect. The same way no system is perfect. The same way you cannot have a perfect society. Society is made up of the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is for the society to keep its heads above water and be focused on the greater good. So when you talk about social justice, yes, but a lot of our people assume that because of democracy, you have absolute rights. I think it is important for us to educate our people that look, nowhere in the world do you have absolute rights. Your right is limited by the right of others. Because where my right ends is where yours begins. So the tenets or the focus of the struggle for June 12th, they are still here with us. And we have not in any way lost track of them. It's only for us to enhance, and continue to sustain those legacies such that they will not be lost with us, in years to come. But we are with those focus or those tenets are still here with us. You talk about social justice.
All right, Mr. Nelson Akujimi, thank you very much. Right, thank you so much for sharing your profound insights and memories with us. Thank you so much. Nelson Akujimi is a human rights activist, convener, Commerce Society Music. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at 12:30 a.m. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News NG. I am Olajumoke.